All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there for us. Rito, we can start with you. I think last week we had 3 games in 1 week, obviously very challenging. This week, we've got 1 game this week. We can focus on that. So it's almost quite a luxury.
Yeah, look, it was a challenging week, Mikey, having to play those 3 games. But I think you'll be aware it's a situation is the same for everyone, but it just does feel a bit better to have a bit of more time to prep for the next game coming up.
Looking ahead, it's obviously quite a simple equation for us. We know what we have to do and what we need to improve on. So what's the feeling like within the squad around that?
Yeah, lots of work-ons from our side. That's a big focus. You'll be aware that, especially from kickoffs, we gave away 21 points. So that's one thing. I mean, it's always the case. We want to get better at the things that we're not doing well.
Okay, Deon, I think it's the first time you've had a chance to catch up with these guys since you've been back. How's it been? How have you found it being back? You good to be home?
Yeah, it's good to be home. It's good to see friendly faces and talk a bit of your native language again to all the people. So it's great to be back. It's good to be in the setup with the province with all the young blokes, all the energy and stuff. Keeps me young a bit. So, but it's good.
You say that, but I think from when you came on, it was almost you made a massive impact. That first game, I think it was the Bulls at Newlands or the Cheetahs maybe. Yeah. It really looked like you were excited to be back and you were hungry.
Yeah, no, I was hungry. It's since I've been saying my whole time I've been here, it's a province that's very dear to my heart, and I will give everything that I can to make the team better and to make everyone proud again for the jersey.
We're in a must-win situation this week that almost make things simpler in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we look at it as a quarterfinal. So we're in the final phase for us. So that's the way we look at it at the moment. So we're going to attack it like that way and just go for the win. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, guys. Questions from your side for these two. Stephen.
Yeah, how's it? As usual, I think it's becoming a me first scenario. Rito, obviously we've had this discussion a few times now about kickoffs. So how are you guys going to approach this? What are you doing on the training field? How are you guys going to solve that problem?
Yeah, look, Steve, the best we can do right now is repetition for the players in an environment that's as close as possible to the game. It is one thing to catch the kickoffs when there's no one really charging you down, or there's just one person charging you down and there's no pressure. So we're trying to simulate as much as we can, that game environment. We can probably never get to that level, but we're trying to push as hard as we can so that then we create a lot of pressure at training so that, the players are used to it. I can tell you now, the skill is not much of a problem. It's just handling that type of pressure that comes with the game in terms of catching those kickoffs. So that's been our approach currently.
Yeah, obviously, I suppose the sun was a factor this past week. It looks like the guys were struggling a bit. But, I mean, when you lose a guy like Marvin Ori, and JD and Salmano out, that's it's quite a skill, I suppose, to take charge of that scenario. And now at Lock, you guys are looking quite thin. I mean, are you struggling a bit for personnel in terms of addressing that issue?
Yeah, look, Stephen, it is challenging. It would have been nice to have Marvin, Salman, and JD playing. But at the same time, as I'm sure Doe said earlier on, that what's important for us during this competition is to build a bit of depth. And it was not by our choice that those guys are not playing, but it also gives us a bit of an opportunity to coach more, coach better, empower younger guys, and get them to operate well in those positions. So that when we play URT and we're sitting in the same situation, we are covered. So we are thin in that position, but it's a challenge that we will have to face and try to develop more players to cover that position.
And if you had to give a reason to supporters to believe that you guys could go and pull it off in Durban after what happened in Kimberley, I mean, what would you say to a supporter? What can give them reason to believe?
Well, I think Province, we operate well with our backs against the wall. It's happened in 2017, I think, when Province last won the Currie Cup. We lost Griquas away, we lost to the Pumas, and we still came back and won it. The players and the coaching staff all understand, our current position. But if I'm to give you any hope, that's how Province men are made. We are able to fight, when our backs against the wall, when we're in a tough position, and we're preparing to go to Durban and do our best to come back with a victory. We back ourselves, the players believe in themselves. Like I said earlier, we worked hard on improving the small things that we got wrong, and would love to go there and do our complete best.
And what did you make of the Sharks, Rito, in terms of I suppose they've also been quite inconsistent. And what do you make of the challenge that they will pose?
Yeah, look, Stephen, Sharks is a very good outfit. Unlike us, they don't have a lot of guys injured. I mean, they probably also missed about 3 games, if I'm correct. We've probably the only team that have played all the Currie Cup games. Maybe in terms of injuries, it's starting to catch up with us. The Sharks, they're looking pretty good. Got a good depth in terms of their players, good set piece, good kicking game. So it's going to be it's going to be a tough challenge out there in Durban, and it looks like, it's going to be raining quite a bit. So guys like Karen Bosch, with a good Nohamba, sorry, will pose a very tough challenge in terms of, utilizing the contestables that they usually opt for.
Dobbo mentioned after the Griquas game that it looked like you guys looked like a bit of a war zone in the treatment room. I mean, what are the injuries like this weekend? Who are you going to miss and who are you getting back?
Yeah, look, I think there's a few niggles. Stephen, Dave Mason finished the game, but he didn't train today. So we obviously waiting to hear from the medical staff. What's his situation there. Yeah, Ivan was out running around. He missed last week. So also sort of just waiting on confirmation on his availability. I think, that's pretty much those positions where we're looking like, we'll have to wait an extra day to get more information from the medical staff. JD is still not back this week. I think that's about it.
Sorry, the first one you mentioned, that was Dave Mason.
Yes.
Okay, so you're planning a comeback at lock, Rito, because it looks like you run out of locks.
Well, Stephen, on another note, Deon is probably the last guy that I played with that's still playing rugby, so we used to understand each other well. So, if we tested me, I might have to cover it.
Deon, speaking of you, I was going through my computer old photos the other day, and I found one where I took after the 2012 Currie Cup final with you standing with a cup after captaining the team. I mean, how much pride is there in a game for you like this? I mean, how important is it for you personally that you guys front up for a game like that, given what you have achieved at Province and what a great Province man you are?
I think it's going back to where we won it. We won the Currie Cup 2012, and almost in the same situation now. It's a must-win for us, like back then. The thing is just to keep the guys motivated, keep the guys on their toes, or the players, and just to let them realize what's the job at hand at the moment, and that we have to be more clinical in the small things that we mess up. And yeah.
Deon, duidelijk Claessens here. Sorry, Stephen. Speaking of getting the guys motivated for this game, how do you motivate the younger players in the team as one of the senior statesmen, especially given how erratic the team's form has been of late?
Yeah, I don't think it's a massive thing to motivate it. It's like I said, it's like a quarterfinal, and I think just to let them realize, an opportunity like this doesn't come around often in your career. I had a long career, and I only played in three finals. So it doesn't come often in your career. So to grab it with both hands, they have to, and just to, like I said, to realize like we messed up with the Greekos. It's the small stuff that's hurting us at the moment. I think the last 3 games, the little details that every play messes up one detail. It's 15 errors we make, so we have to cut down on that.
And Deon, just going back to that final, I remember there were those moments of inspiration, like Dimitri, the 2 drop goals, I think one off each foot, and that great break that Hlungwani made, I think it was just before half time. I mean, those are, do you think that you guys have what it takes to go up there and produce those big moments again?
Yeah, definitely. I think the squad has shown this whole year that they're capable of it. I think we spoke about the 4 games that they lost after the Rito against the Bulls, or 4 games after the Bulls, and the Bulls is a quality outfit with massive depth, and they just lost those games. So definitely the belief is there. It's just to put that over in points.
And for you personally going forward, are you set now on playing in the loose duo, or are you also looking at playing hooker? How do you see your future?
No, at the moment it's loose duo. Depends on the injuries. At the moment we're very thin at lock, so maybe I've got 100% line-out success rate in my career, so maybe it's an option. But no, at the moment it's just loose water. Hopefully.
Deon, what brought you back to the Cape?
Say again?
What brought you back to the Cape?
I think I was family orientated. I think the last 2 years were tough overseas with family and kids, and with the lockdown and the pandemic and stuff. You miss home, you miss your people. There's no place like home. So I think that was a major factor in coming back home.
And obviously in the at 34, I mean, have you still set yourself a couple of goals? What would you still like to achieve in your career?
At the moment, if you look at Mornay Steyn, going back to the box at the 30, 37, 38. No, for me, it's just to get installed into the squad here at the moment, and to hopefully bring Province back and Stormers back to the old glory days. I think if I can just give my input and my experience, that will be enough for me.
When you said those little things and so on, can you be more specific in terms of what you think the issues against Griquas were that led to the defeat?
No, like Rito said, you can't give a side like Griquas on a Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, 21 points on a platter. I think to come back from that, it's going to be difficult. I think that was our Achilles heel, was the kickoff, and that's evident. I think I'll accept that. I think we played well, we attacked well. The motivation was there. At the end, we messed up for the bonus point at the end, but the guys didn't stop fighting for what we wanted, and that's a positive. But like I said, 21 points on a platter is not going to work in Kimberley.
Sorry, Rito, just with Dave and Evan, what exactly are the nature of their injuries?
I think with Evan, he had a bit of a dead leg, lumbo, as you call it. so it just needed a bit of time to recover. We were just quite, we were playing it quite safe there, because I think it had another knock on it. So we just thought it would be good to give it a bit of time to rest. And I think Dave, just a little bit of a niggle on the ankle, if I'm correct, yeah.
And I mean, for Dave, what are the contingency plans at lock? Who are the guys that can come in now, Rito?
Look, like I said, we've been working hard with our depth. We've got, obviously Ernest has been covering lock. We've got youngsters, Deon, Dulu, Simon Miller, Johan Dutoy has also covered lock before. So we if push comes to shove, those would be our covers.
Are there any other questions, Stephen? No.
That's all from me. So thank you very much.
Cool.
Just a quick one from me, Mark, if I can, please.
Yes, Dylan, you can.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. Just one for Deon. Obviously, Deon, Western Province have quite a few talented young loose forwards coming through the ranks at the moment. You look at guys like Evan Roos, you look at Damakaba. So what have you made of them in terms of their talent and playing alongside them?
No, I think they speak for themselves. I think if you watch the games with the quality players they are, it's really good for the province. But like Everest is knocking on the Springbok door, and Nama is not far from that as well. So no, it's looking good. It's looking good.
Cool. Dylan, you happy? Anyone else got a question? We good? Nice one, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for waiting for us. We'll catch you on Thursday for the team announcement. Cheers.